industry. Over to you, Jamie.
Cool. Hello, everyone. My name's Jamie, and I'll just crack on because we don't want to. So raise your hand if you enjoy listening to grime, rap, hip hop, and lo-fi. Okay. Dance music. Who likes dance music? Pop, rock, indie, blues. Cool. R&B, neo soul, reggae, classical, or a bit of everything. Cool.
Loads of classical.
Yeah, but I know everything apart from classical.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like how the industry works. There's a lot of different genres. It's good to find your own niche, I feel, and yeah. So a bit about me, like about my backstory. I moved to London when I was 18. I finished college. I actually got I tried to get on the Tom Meister course and I failed. So I thought, fuck it, I'll move to London. So I moved to London when I was 18. I worked in loads of studios. I worked in Richmond. I worked at Metropolis, State of the Art, and Shoreditch, Strong Room. I started my own events. I started an open mic. I then went on to promote my own events in Shoreditch, Cafe 1001, Hootenanny in Brixton. And I toured Europe as a session musician. So I went to Turkey, Germany. I went to Iceland. I did loads of different stuff. And I started multiple recording studios. I was renting a studio in Brixton, renting a studio in Acton, and I've now got a studio in Nutfield, kind of 2 minutes away from you. And then finally I got management recently, so over Christmas, and I'll get into kind of how it works with that and how management are kind of set up. So what sort of career do you want in music? Can someone volunteer and tell me?
Who can I pick on?
Oh no.
Let's go with, I think Katie's like looking down. She's like looking down. I'm either going and Otis is trying to avoid me as well.
No, I don't know what I want to do.
No, okay.
I know. So we've got a mixture of artists. We've got some session musicians. I know Mia wants to be an artist, singer-songwriter, and things.
Okay.
We've got Georgie, who's a singer herself. Singer. We've got a fab female guitarist over here who is a rock star.
Amazing.
So yeah, we've got bassists. We've got songwriters. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, wicked. Well, I thought I would do kind of a background into what the music industry is kind of built on. You've kind of got the industry, and then you've got the creative side. So the industry studios to start with, recording studios, kind of built on runners, assistant engineers, and producers. You might also have executive producers and also A&Rs. Long hours, lots of work done. Producers kind of manage the studio sessions, and then the engineers are kind of there to manage the sonic value of how it goes. Next, you've got labels, so kind of record labels. The main labels are Universal, Warner, Sony, BMG, and then you've got sub labels like Island. And then you've got kind of indie labels like Domino, Bella Union. There's so many different labels. I can't think off the top of my head. There's so many, but yeah, they kind of consist of a marketing team. A&R kind of find the different artists from the gigs and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of how it's consisted. There's lots of jobs going. If you looked on LinkedIn, they always post. If you go on their websites, they post different jobs on that as well. You've got publishers. So a publisher will basically manage your royalties, get you on radio, get you on TV. They take kind of a 40-60 split, 40 to the, I think it's 40 to the artist, 60 to the label. And once you've built up a repertoire of credits, they're more likely to approach you, or you can approach them. But they like to know you've got an income stream already. So that's kind of where you go when you're ready to take the next step. All these kind of have contacts, which will get you onto the next level, which is great. Management, like I said, management kind of, they look after the admin side of an artist or a producer like me, and they'll handle kind of invoicing. They'll have more contacts, like I said. They'll handle all the emails, the negotiations. Like I got an email the other day about someone on Sony that I might be writing with. Like it's all about contacts, it seems to be in music, or it has been for me. And then there's venues. So you've got booking agents and promoters. They handle kind of the artists going into the venue. So if you're playing lots of gigs and you've got a good repertoire of songs, you might approach a booking agent to get you gigs in more venues, or to do a tour, or to. But promoters are kind of, they manage the kind of smaller side of the venues, and they might run a night, or they might know a booking agent who knows a promoter who'll put you on in the venue. So yeah. And then you've got the creatives, like, so a lot of you, like you said, you've got a lot of artists, a lot of bands. They're the kind of core of the music industry. They do a lot of things kind of for, well, they kind of built, that's where the industry's built. So yeah, you've got producers and engineers that are kind of behind in the background, and they do all the production. Engineers kind of manage the sonic value, but a lot of producers kind of do a lot of engineering, which I'll get onto in a little bit. And you've got artwork designers, so they'll obviously design the artwork, and you've got session players. So a session fixer, I was just saying before, will usually get you gigs as a session player. There's not many session fixers around. They usually go under music consultants, but you've got the live aspect and you've got the recording aspect. When I did session work, I ran my open mic and basically contacted. I just kind of reached out and said, "Do you need a bass player?" And they said, "Oh yeah, come along to a jam." We jammed. They said, and then they invited me to a rehearsal. I learned all the songs, and that's kind of how it built up. And then I went and played gigs, and then went on tour. So a bit about the hustle, because there's a lot of it's a lot of work, to be honest. You have to do a lot of free work when you start out. I was working in the studio for about like there were 12-hour days, all for free for about a year. In Metropolis, you have to work there for free for 4 years until you become an assistant engineer. Emails are so important, you know, just sending out loads of emails, checking your emails regularly, and networking is super key too. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. So it's worth doing. So any questions so far about the music industry? Not so far. Okay. Well, if you've got any questions, just raise your hand. So a few things that have helped me. So collaboration. So this is the open mic that I ran when I finished college. And there was 20 of us. There's a guy, if you can spot me, you win a prize. I'm a lot thinner. But there's a guy called Julian who went on to do A&R. He worked at the Roundhouse. I had a band who I was playing with at the time. They came up all the way from Reigate to London every week to play, to kind of be the house band. And yeah, there were so many artists. We met, I did some writing with Jade Bird, if you know Jade Bird, Tom Grennan, who's just got a #1 album. Libertines came down, crazy bunch. And we had Hugh MacDonald, Fair Hazel, who's in America now. So many people. We did that for about a year and a half. But yeah, collaboration is so key. You know, build your community, make friends, network with these people, enjoy what you're doing. You know, it's not try and do as many favors as you can for other people, because they're more likely to help you out later down the line. So, and then be a jack of all trades. You know, I play drums, piano, guitar, bass, I sing. You know, I'm not the best at all of them, but I've learned to play on sessions. You know, for Nilifer, I was playing keyboards, guitar, and bass. Bass is my main instrument, but I kind of just blagged my way into doing keyboards and programming and just learning on the job, basically. So you can get into writing, video production, photography, social media, mixing, mastering. You know, social media is so important if you're an artist. You know, make friends with a photographer friend. You know, there's a photography department, I think, in Reigate now. or there was when I was there. You know, go and make a friend there and get some photos done for your social media. Someone to do film, you know, get on TikTok because TikTok's crazy. And get writing, you know, write as many songs as you can. I used to do an 100 song challenge, so I'd set myself a task of writing 100 songs in like, you know, half a year or a year, and just just write as much shit as you can, basically. um so self-worth and self-awareness, so this is really important um when you're setting kind of your rates, and if you want to charge people in the industry, um ask them how much budget they've got, but also look up the rates. If it's kind of a good opportunity and, you know, it might progress you, you know, I worked for Tom Grennan for free for a long time. Like I said, I worked in that studio, and then I got another job at Domino. So like, it's all about kind of building up, you know, a bit of a repertoire, a bit of a relationship with them, and kind of getting your credits going, but understanding where you're at. You know, if you've done 100 gigs and you're at the point where, you know, you're ready to get paid, ask to get paid and tell them I played 100 gigs. You know, that's really, really important, and that's what's helped me get to where I am at. So yeah. um and then how do you learn? You know, are you a left side, right side? I'm a bit of both, but logical, you might like music theory. Creative, you might like just songwriting, you know, without music theory. So like, build up your way of learning. You know, are you learning through videos, through reading, through writing, through audiobooks? I listen to audiobooks because that's what helps me, but I'm terrible at reading. I can't read for rubbish. So yeah. Get out of your comfort zone, like just get out of it, you know, put your hand up all the time, you know, try and get yourself out of that comfort zone so that you're building your confidence up. You know, success is most often achieved by those who don't know failure is inevitable. You know, you're gonna fail, unfortunately, and that's something that's scary, but it's worth pursuing. You know, the last presentation, I was so nervous. I was like, basically, like, yeah, I couldn't breathe. But you just got to get out of your comfort zone and try things out, because you never know. So yeah, and create your own path. You know, I ran events, I did session work, I did loads of different things. I I feel like creating your own path. I didn't go to university. I tried to go to university for about 2 weeks, and then I left, and it wasn't for me. So, you know, try and build up what you want to do. And if you enjoy, you know, you want to start a label, or you want to start a publisher, or you want to be an artist, just go out and do it. And you might end up being someone else, something completely different, but if you stick to music and know what you like to do, I feel like that's really important. So this is an interesting one. So raise your hand and keep your hand raised. Who enjoys music? Who wants to work in the music industry? Yeah. And who's willing to make the sacrifices to work in the industry? Okay, interesting. So the reason why I say this is that you might have to sacrifice something to do music, and that might be a normal job, or it might be time with your friends. You know, you might, if you party every night, you probably won't end up doing music, because it takes a lot of work. And rather, like, the reason why I say this is that because my sacrifices chose me. You know, life chose what I had to sacrifice, which is my mental health, basically. And rather than, you know, something else choosing you, it's great to kind of sacrifice as much, not as much as possible, but the things that don't mean so much. And, you know, try your best to not let it sacrifice you, basically. And enjoy the journey. You know, it's so important to enjoy what you're doing. You know, it's not about the end goal. It's not about being successful or having loads of money or fame. Just try and enjoy what you're doing. You know, obviously that's great fun and like it's super great, but, you know, try and build up what you enjoy and how you progress, because yeah, it's beautiful. Working in music is beautiful, but it's a lot of work and it can be really tough. And then finally, like I said, mental health. There's a line called Music Minds Matters Helpline, which is great. It's run by the music industry as Samaritans. You can talk to your GP. Music union is great for helping you with legal stuff, with any tips, rates, that sort of thing. Musicians union. And yeah, my top tips. These are my top tips. Create your own luck. Go out and do as much as you can, because it's not about luck, it's about creating it. People say that, you know, the industry's built on luck, but a lot of people just go out and do it and the luck kind of comes to them. Practice networking. You know, I was on the tube. I used to be that guy on the tube that would just talk to everyone. So I would say, like, how's it going? You know, how you doing? And I met directors, film guys. I met loads and loads of different sorts of people. But it was building my confidence up, and I learned how to talk to people. And if they didn't want to talk to me, I would, okay, have a nice day, you know, kind of that sort of thing. And I've chatted to people that were famous and I didn't even know they were famous. But it's great. It's a great way of just, you know, networking and just understanding how to talk. And ask for stuff. You know, you never know, they might actually have what you have. You know, you're looking for someone to do photos. Can you do some photos for me? Or even, can you pay me? You know, simple as that. And just ask for things, because you never know. So, any final questions?
Any questions, anybody? I'm sure you're going to have questions.
Come on, guys. I want to ask.
Michael.
So after you left college, what was your first step towards the music industry?
Yeah. So, I mean, during college, I was working. Like before college, I had my own DJ business. So, I knew that money was possible from music, and then I was mentored by another band. I would just say start as soon as possible, like during college, whenever. But my first step after college was moving to London. I had a job lined up in the studio before college had finished, which was really important. I was going to gigs in London. I met Tom Grennan's manager on a train whilst I was working in the studio, and we started working together. And now he's got a #1 album, so he's not doing too bad. And yeah, I would just say, yeah, just go try and build it as soon as possible. Does that make sense?
So yeah, so he's just saying, like, just get yourself out there, start networking, start introducing yourself. Yeah. Yeah, Mia.
So you were saying that you like did so many things for free and you were doing stuff like that. How did you actually have money to like survive? You were doing loads of free stuff.
Yeah, of course. So I didn't mention about having a passive income when you're starting out. So I worked in a coffee shop. When I was working in the studio, I would get up at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, work in the coffee shop, and then go to the studio afterwards. I actually managed to build up an income quite soon, about a year or two in, but there's no rules, like it could take years and years and years. And because of COVID, I've had to go on universal credit, so that's another way of getting a passive income. You can do things like creatively make your own clothes, sell them online, build a business like that, build like kind of side hustle, like, you know, things that you enjoy doing but are not taking away time from music. You can work in a bar, you can work in a venue, just, you know, something related to music, maybe in a venue, or things like that. Is that all right?
You said you went to uni for a week. What was like the reason you dropped out? Like, was there a specific reason?
So I went to uni because my parents were telling me to go to uni, and I actually dropped out because of my mental health. I went through a stage where I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but uni seemed like, I went there when I was like 21, and then I basically had a mental breakdown and had to leave. But I realized shortly after that it was probably the best thing, because I was spending 3-4 years in uni. I would have spent 3-4 years in uni, and now I've got management. I've spent the last 2 years working again. So yeah, uni's not for everyone. It does work for some people. Like I know a guy who went to uni and did a master's, and he ended up playing drums for Ed Sheeran on his first album because it's good for practicing, but whilst you're at uni, network, connect with people, start bands. London Grammar, who I worked with, started off at University of Leeds. They met there. Alt J started in unis, like Queen started at uni. They're all doing different stuff. So many bands. So it's just find your own path and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Cool.
So you were saying that you did that open mic. You started to do that. How did you begin to start to make events like that? Because I have no idea how you started.
Yeah. So I literally just asked. So I went to the pub and I said, "Can I start an open mic?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." Simple as that. And then I also approached like Hootenanny and I said, "Can I run an event?" I mean, they actually asked me to run an event because I told them that I'd run events in the past. Cafe 1001 just popped in and said, "Hi, can I run an event?" And they said, "Yeah." It's usually as simple as that.
Do you need to go through any licensing or anything like that for these events or anything?
The venue should cover all the licensing. You should usually ask to be paid for events because doing a free event is a lot of work. And if you're going to pay for bands to come in, I had to ask so many favors from bands to come in and play. And I hated going, can you play for free because of promotion? Like, it's just a no-go. So I asked favors from bands and said, hey, can you come in and maybe I'll do some recording or help you out in different ways. So yeah.
Okay. So like favors for each other. Okay, cool. And session work. I mean, you mentioned about session work and getting in via the session fixer or something like that. But if you wanted to do it your own, how would you do that if you wanted to do it on your own?
Go to gigs, meet other musicians. There might be a band. Like the open mic that I ran, like it was just people with their guitar coming, and I would kind of say, "Oh, are you looking to put the band together?" And they might say, "Oh yeah, we're looking for a bass player and a guitarist." And I'd say, "Well, I play bass. I know a guitarist. Let's form a band." That's how I got going with Nilufer Yanya. That's how Tom Grennan started as well. Yeah, there's session fixers, but generally you want to just reach out to artists that you like because they might put you with someone that you don't enjoy playing. So yeah.
Cool. Songwriting. How did you get into songwriting?
Yeah, that kind of started after like all the mental health rubbish. Like, how did I get into songwriting? I was writing songs in college, like for college, and then after I pitched a song to someone, they said they really liked it, and I thought, okay, well, I can write more songs. And then I got a credit on Benjamin Francis Left, which is the album, which was basically I had a studio in Brixton. They said, "Oh, do you want to come in for a jam?" I was in the same studio, and then I went in for a jam, and then we wrote a song together, and then it ended up on his album. So it's all mad. But yeah, like basically, I was in the right place at the right time, but also I made myself in that place because I had a studio. If that makes sense.
Cool. And Musicians Union, helpful, not helpful?
Yeah, definitely helpful. I've called them in the past. They've helped me with rates and legal stuff. They're just a great line to help. If you're struggling with, if you think someone's ripping you off, give them a call. That's another thing I would say. If you just find your support networks, build up your support, whether it's family, friends, or lines, Samaritans, or, if you're struggling with things, just call. I've got a mentor through the Richmond Fellowship. They help me if I'm struggling with things or just business side. So yeah, loads of just find your support networks. But yeah, Musicians Union, definitely.
Okay. And obviously, like right now you've got management. Do you want to explain what that is to these guys, what you've got right now?
Yeah, so management basically bring me work, and then I do the work and they sort out all the fees, all the legal side of rates. So if you're a producer, you get points on a record, which is like a percentage of, I think, the master rates. and then they'll sort out any writing royalties. They'll negotiate for you, but also they've got so many contacts. So they've got, like I said, like Sony, they want me to write with an artist on Sony, and loads of other people. So they're a good way of getting contacts and building your contacts. They'll negotiate with publishers, they'll negotiate with labels if you're an artist. Management usually step up. You know, you kind of want a bit of experience before you get management, because a lot of people in the industry not are there to rip you off, but there's a lot of kind of, you've got to be really careful who you work with. I've been super lucky, I think, with the people I've worked with, but you kind of get that, you know, follow your gut, and you know, if you get that gut feeling that this is kind of not quite right, just step away and leave it and find someone else to work with. So yeah.
And obviously, you're talking about self-worth and awareness. Has there been times where you've actually said no to an event and like said no to the free work or even paid work?
Yeah, I've said no to paid work. There was an artist last year who I was working with that I just couldn't work with, and she was paying me, but I just thought, is it worth my stress? You know, the man now I just got management just after, and I thought, well, they're gonna bring me work. Is it worth me, you know, actually working with them? Because it's not going to progress my career. You know, you're going to put your name to something. If you're starting out, great, you know, try and work with as many different people as possible. But when you get a bit more established, it's kind of, you have to kind of choose who you want to work with.
Okay. And then what is the next thing for you in your ever-long career?
Yeah. Just keep working hard. When gigs start up, I'll be going to as many gigs. I think you guys know of New Music Nights. I'll be at they just announced their festival, so that's worth checking out. I've got a few people who I'm working with playing there. Going to gigs, working on music, writing a lot more, and possibly a publisher in like a few years' time. I think that would be quite fun.
And are you looking for session musicians currently, or anybody that you would mind
Oh,
giving?
yeah. I've got my contact details on here. If you can follow me on Instagram, that'll be super. Um, but yeah, check out my website. Send me a message if you want some help or some advice. And you know, I love helping people getting into the industry. So drop me an email and I can give you some tips. And
So this is your chance to network, guys. And don't forget, you have got an assignment about a freelancer. So guys, so Jamie, these guys have actually got an assignment saying they need to get in touch with a freelancer to talk about their work and how they get into the industry and stuff like that. So some of these might actually come to you, or they might say, "Do you know someone you can talk to?" So you can always put them on to somebody else.
100%. I mean, when I went and did my work experience, because the college, I don't know if they still do. The college still do like
Yeah.
the days in the studio
Yeah.
up in London. Yeah. So when I was in the studio and there was an engineer called Reese Downing, and at the time he was like kind of just starting up. He was just an assistant engineer. Now he's worked with Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars. He's done so much, and I did a session with him. So you never really know who you're chatting to. Like, just kind of reach out and see what happens.
There you go. There you go. I'm trying to reach out. I reached out to one of my old school friends, Jack McManus.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm trying to get him to do one of these actually with you, like how you're doing.
What's his name? Jack McManus.
Jack McManus. Yeah.
What does he do?
He's a piano player, producer. I think he does what you do. He's with management and everything.
Oh, cool.
He's really, really, really cool. Great piano player. He's married to Martine McCutcheon.
Okay.
He had an album out, I think, Bang the Piano.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So he's got an album out. I think it was with Polydor.
Oh wow. Yeah. So he's done quite well.
So he's just done a song with Michael Ball and the two Michaels.
Okay. I don't know that well, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So yeah, so some of these guys might get in touch with you guys. Get in touch. Follow. All about networking. The importance of networking. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much, Jamie.
No worries. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you. We'll be in touch. Thank you so much, Jamie, for your time today.
No
He did
worries.
3 today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
worries. I hope you guys, yeah,
All
keep
right.
on.
All right. Thank you very much.
No worries. I'll catch you soon.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.